Number 8, Solomon Aria. Number 9, Brock Mitchell. Number 10, Tyson Chitani. Number 11, Quasi Nicholas Oteng Frimpong. Number 17, Jolly Kopo Anomo. And number 21, Sine Hyla. For Les Rouges, Daniel Logren in net. Graham Norman, number 2. Number 3, Randy Gabori. Number 8, Michael Zarikta. Number 9, Furat Zalama. Number 10, Ibrahim Bezahu. Number 11, Ayman Susi. Number 12, Frank Umartin Dia. Number 21, Joseph Zarikta. Number 25, Tremek Montasar. And number 14, Troy Morrison. Les Rouges, of course, in red. Rouge, they're playing from left to right on your stream, while the Trojans are playing in white with red shorts and white socks. They're playing from right to left on your stream here. We're now underway in the first half here at Langley, BC. Yesterday's results, the Trojans, despite being very good in Alberta, scoring boatloads of goals as well, falling to the host college here, Langara, by a score of 3-1. Meanwhile, Les Rouges, despite being tied 2-2 with Humber at halftime yesterday, falling 7-2, so a bit of a deceiving scoreline. We'll see if Les Rouges can get themselves into the win column as well here, as both sides, much like the earlier encounter here, two squads coming off results they didn't particularly want / need / relish. And they'll both have the bee in their bonnet to try and get a result here today in this second matchup of match day 2 here at the CCAA Men's National Soccer Championships. SAIT misplay their pass, and Les Rouges will have a chance to take over. Bezahu going for a dribble, the number 10 for Les Rouges, who do have a little bit of blue and white and trim and piping on their kits. Zarikta, one of 2 Zariktas on the park there, I should clarify. Michael and Joseph Zarikta, both playing for Les Rouges here today. The Trojans will try and loop one up the far right touchline. A little bit of head tennis there, not able to be kept in play. And the club from Alberta will have a chance in the final third, not able to control it though. Clever play in the area now. Cut back. Oh, clever defending as well. And it needed to be, as I believe it was Oteng Frimpong who had got himself right to the goal line. And he had options as well, but Les Rouges had to drop right and collapse right into their 6-yard box. It'll be an early corner here for the men in white. Cross into the area. That one cleared by Les Rouges. Bobbling around the area, bicycle kick, and what a stop, my goodness. It was Sine Hyla, their star player of the Trojans, and he almost found himself on the highlight reel. And I've said that a few times here early in this tournament, but the Nomads have had a few. Look no further than the screamer from Kamara in our last matchup. We've had some free kick goals, but that might have taken the cake. A bite kick inside the area. Thankfully, it's a big stop from Daniel Logren of Les Rouges in between the sticks. Good start here from the Trojans. Rouges haven't had very many sniffs in the final third of the opposition end. Keep going back to that bicycle kick. You'll love to see it, especially from the young lads. They're courageous, they're brave, and they're willing to try things like that. And you love to see it. Tyson Chitani on the ball now, the number 10 for SAIT, wearing the captain's armband as well. Good dribble infield. The day started at 2 degrees Celsius here in Langley. A stooping header away and a rocket of a shot on the left foot. It was number 7, Nicholas Gonzalez, who really got a hold of that one. He just wasn't able to place it in that far left corner of Logren's net, but it was certainly hit with some kind of venom. Good couple early half chances for the Trojans in this one. Quick weather report, as I was mentioning. The day started at 2 Celsius, very gray, very cloudy, and a little bit windy here. It has improved. It's now 4, which I know is not a ton of improvement, but it's noticeably warmer, and the wind has settled down quite a bit. Looking at a high of 5 for some of the later matches as well. But it is a bit chilly at the moment here in Langley, BC, Willoughby Park. As mentioned, nestled between the Langley Event Center, home of the junior hockey and basketball teams here in Langley, as well as the former home of the lacrosse team. Great dummy there. Number 11 in the area. Can he get a left-footed shot? He does! Just misses the far post. It's Oteng Frimpong, who had tons of space, and you could argue that through the 3 half chances you could call him, for me, that's a gilt edge chance right there. The Trojans should be in the lead at this particular moment in time. We're less than 10 minutes in here. Gosh, just under 7 minutes in, and already we've got quite a few opportunities to speak of here for the Trojans. Les Rouges, though, they're on the ropes at the moment. They need to find an opening. Clip ball over the top to the far right touchline for Gonzalez to chase. He's got some space, dropping defenders now from Les Rouges. Cuts back to his left foot. Tried to slide one into, it was Oteng Frimpong, who's been very active early in this first half for the Trojans. Long, raking diagonal ball, again looking for Frimpong. He can't reel this one in, Frimpong, but he'll shoulder his man, shield it out, and it'll be another deep throw-in for the Trojans. Aria. The very lanky and tall Aria, I might add, who's head and shoulders taller than most of the lads on the pitch here today. Just getting his first touch on the ball there. Number 8 with the jet black boots for the Trojans. Good attempt at a diagonal there from Tyson Chitani. It doesn't find its intended target of Gonzalez, though. And the Les Rouges, I beg your pardon, of Saint-Boniface will have a chance to carry forward. Ooh, good ball win there by Kyle Rothney as he took it right off the foot of the center back for Les Rouges, who looked like he was going to go for a bit of a magical mystery tour of a run up the middle of the park. Number 5 for the Trojans had other ideas. Not on his watch, he said. And he will play one up the park. The 2 players will jockey for position there, Bezahu and Sinaga. Sinaga wins that one, wins a throw-in for his club. Unforced error there. Oteng Frimpong there to pick it off. Plays it forward for Hyla. He lays it off for Gonzalez. A shimmy and a straight. Good move there from Gonzalez. Has a right-footed rip near post. It's palmed over by Logren. It's excellent play there on the wing by Gonzalez, who rinsed his man and was able to uncork a shot. It'll be a corner kick now for the Trojans. Be a left-footed in-swinger right into the 6-yard box. The keeper just has to calmly wait for it to fly into his waiting arms, and he'll take his time, let the troops get forward. They've been forced to defend most of this first half so far, Les Rouges. Very few forays into the opposition half, and there's a great helped on header. It might be a one-on-one here for Les Rouges. Can they get the shot away? Right-footed shot, and he scores! What a goal there! Well against the run of play. Great helped on header. And Les Rouges, the men in red, they bulged the twine and opened the scoring against the Trojans. What a sequence of play there. Les Rouges, after defending for the better part of that opening 10 minutes, their first chance they get bulges the twine, very similar to the Holland Hurricanes goal from the last matchup. A great helped on header, a clear run on goal. He still had a bit of work to do. He had to shrug off his defender and clip it around the goalkeeper. He gets the finish just right though, and Les Rouges off to a 1-0 start. And you feel that might open up this game just a little bit. Les Rouges getting a great boost of confidence. They seem to have an extra jump in their step at the moment. Meanwhile, the Trojans, they're a bit shell-shocked after having controlled that first bit of play. Now finding themselves down 1-0 here at Willoughby Park. That's kind of been the story of SAIT's tournament. Despite playing very well and despite creating chances and having plenty of goals in past matches to their tally, they seem to be a bit snake-bitten. Yesterday against Langara, a 3-1 loss, and now having to fight from behind here against Les Rouges de Saint-Boniface. Here comes Brock Mitchell in for Hyla. He's dragged back from behind. The referee says it'll be a free kick, dead central, probably about 35 yards out. Tyson Chatani will be the lone player to stand over this free kick. He has mostly options at the back post, but he's got two players on the right wing just hanging around perhaps for a near post pass. He might also go for a shot himself, Chatani. It looks like he's going to clip it into the back post. He will. No, it's actually dead central, and it flies right into the keeper's arms. Chatani will certainly want that one back. It looked like he might just try and loop it into the back stick, but easy clutch and claim for Daniel Logren of Les Rouges. Just lost the ball there for a second. It's at the halfway line on the other side. It'll be Saint-Boniface in possession. Played into the midsection of their forward. I believe it's Montasar who had the goal there, but I'm sure someone will correct me if I'm wrong. And it was definitely helped on by, I believe, Bezahu in the middle of the park, the number 10. Long ranging diagonal pass to the near corner flag. For Stanley Sinaga, he plays it back a ways. It's given away though, and long floated ball over the top. Looking again for Montasar. This game's opened up, as mentioned, just a little bit after that goal. Giveaway now finds the Trojans in the ascendancy. It's Mitchell who tried to give the old inside out to his man on the Les Rouges backline. It'll amount to a corner kick as Mitchell did just enough, plays it off the shins of the defender. It'll be Tyson Chatani over to take this one. He's handling most of the set piece service for the Trojans. box is packed at the moment. There's a heap of bodies. It's Oteng Frimpong who raises the highest. That looked like a handball in Les Rouges. Another shot from Frimpong hits an arm or a sea of bodies. Header straight up into the air again from Hyla. Still alive the play somehow. Another cross to the back post. Gonzalez meets that one. Still kept alive. Oteng Frimpong to the top of the area now. Aria trying to size up a shot right-footed. Oh, he slips just as he was about to smash his shot on net. It's unfortunate there for the Trojans, who look like in that scramble they might at least be able to get an effort on net. Some shades of a handball there on Les Rouges. The referee was right there, Johnny on the spot. He got the best look at it. He wasn't about to award a penalty that early, that easy. And Les Rouges, perhaps you could say, let off the hook there. It will be a goal kick. Aria. Infield for Oteng Frimpong. Had the chance for a through ball for Brock Mitchell. He gets wiped out, though. There's Oteng Frimpong. You could argue there might be a yellow card there because they were in the ascendancy were the Trojans. They looked like they were about to knock at the chamber door there. And Oteng Frimpong gets absolutely wellied. He hits the deck. It will be a free kick, probably from 25 yards out in this left channel, but my goodness, he's certainly smarting after taking that tackle. Robust challenge. There was a tackle the defender had to make, but it was reckless and it was clumsy, that's for certain. Chitani will have another free kick here. This one looks like it's going to the back post, but Les Rouges are taking no chances. They've assembled a four-man wall right in front of Chitani. It looks like it hasn't been given 12 yards, but Chitani will play it to the back post nonetheless. Almost troubles the keeper. I want to say it was Kyle Rothney who was at the back post there. I beg your pardon. It was actually Jacob Hunter at the back post causing all sorts of problems. Les Rouges under a bit of pressure. They'll smash it out into touch right by the physio table. And it'll be a throw-in for the Trojans, who look like they've gone right back to work on trying to get themselves equal in this one. Once again, got to mention the crack staff here at Willoughby Park. They do it all. Sean Shook leading the show here. It's a cast of thousands behind the scenes to get this going at the CCAA Men's National Soccer Championships. And on days like this, where it's, 2-4 degrees, the help is certainly, it's certainly nice. It's certainly nice. Les Rouges, they clear it, hoop it up into the air. Taken down by Bezahu. It's a heap of legs. It's scrappy play. Tackles are flying in everywhere. The two number 10s come together. It'll be a throw-in again for the Trojans, who, after a shaky bit of play, probably 5-6 minutes ago, have settled back into the rhythm they started with. They just need a goal here to bring themselves level and reward themselves, let's say. Rothney up the line for Sanaga. Sanaga on the dribble. Great play there by Sanaga as he sucked in two defenders before laying it off for Aria. Great switches of play, great movement, great use of the width of the pitch by the Trojans, it has to be said. All it's missing is that final product, that final ball, that final finish. Whereas on the opposite side of things, if you look at it as far as this match has gone so far, it's been Les Rouges who have struggled to string together 1, 2, 3, 4 passes, but the one opportunity they have had inside the penalty box, they've buried it. Great play there by Oteng Frimpong. He gets shouldered off of it. Couple haulers for a tackle there by some of the Trojan supporters and bench staff. But it looked like a robust but fair tackle. Floated ball into the center of the park, looking for Brock Mitchell. He tried to help it on. Nobody was beyond him. He would have had to knock it back down for himself. Hyla controls an awkward ball. That was like collarbone height, and he kind of had to ninja kick it to his fellow teammate, but he's kept it alive. Gonzalez now plays it into the area. It's dealt with by the defender. He didn't necessarily need to. He has kept it in play, though, and he'll eventually thump it out into touch. I'll say it was Michael Zarichta there in the back line for Les Rouges dealing with that one. Long diagonal floated ball. Great touch there by Oteng Frimpong. Gets to the outside of his man. Can he keep it in play? He does! Oh, it's unfortunate. It's an own goal. He tried to cut it back to his teammates. He had 2 or 3 white shirts there. But it clips off the trailing shin of the defender, and we're equal here at Willoughby Park as the Trojans have brought themselves back into this one. They'll march the ball back to the halfway line. And Les Rouges, unfortunately, playing with fire a bit too many times there. Oteng Frimpong's been very busy up this left-hand side, and he finally makes some of those piercing runs pay off. 1-1. And it was the Trojans who yesterday got their lone goal from an own goal as well. That own goal has paid dividends again for them, this time in the fashion of an equalizer. We'll see if the Trojans can build on that. They've been the better of the 2 squads as far as ball possession, ball movement, runs, what have you. They've now got their goal. We'll see if that opens the floodgates for the South Alberta Institute of Technology Club, who are no stranger to bulging the twine, especially in Alberta in their league for sure. Aria. He's hounded there by Gabori. It's a giveaway, but Aria does win it back. And Rothney will pop in to assist. Trojans now, space opening up on the right. Plenty of space on the right for Gonzalez. He's in the area, cuts back to his left foot, has a left-footed shot, and it goes through the keeper! Oh, it's so hard on Daniel Logren, who had, to this point, been almost perfect, but it's a rip shot from Gonzalez, who hit it with some pace. It was knuckling, and it slides through the clutches of Logren. And we mentioned, would it open the floodgates for the Trojans? And they definitely have their tails up now. It's 2-1. Almost at the halfway point of the half. Les Rouges need to find an answer here. They've been second best in this half. You can see the forward for Les Rouges, number 12, Frank Umarindia, trying to spur the troops on, trying to motivate and encourage the lads. They do look swift in the counterattack and in transition, do Les Rouges. Ball over the top. Trojans forward gets to it first, but Michael Zarichta actually did very good on the kind of second passage of that play to keep Brock Mitchell at bay. It looked like the forward for the Trojans might sneak in behind. And all of a sudden this game has a little injection of energy as Les Rouges, not liking going behind 2-1, have a bit of a bee in their bonnet at the moment. And that'll be a foul on Chitani. He gets his legs taken out from underneath him. Be a foul just inside his own half. He's clutching his left knee, though, and it looks like perhaps he had the leg planted when he got fouled, and he's in some discomfort at the moment. We might see a substitution here for the Trojans. Chitani's going to pick himself up, though. Courageous play from the number 10, who is wearing the armband for SAIT. And he's up and right back at him. It looked like a nasty one he took there. Play up the right touchline. Hyla. Kopo Anomo, whose name I think I'm calling possibly for the first time in this matchup. He's not had a ton to do, the lanky number 17 of the Trojans backline. Good play there by Rothney to evade his tackle. Looked like he might be in a spot of trouble, but he got himself out of it. And the Trojans look very calm at the moment. Mitchell. Sinaga. Aria. Chitani. This is just a training ground session at the moment now. The Trojans just playing through the lines, playing through the seams, playing through the lanes, just taking their time. Not rushing anything. They know the game is in their hands at the moment. Still plenty to play here, so they do have to be on their best behavior, and the passing does have to be crisp. But at the moment, Rouges not really pressing the issue. Franco Marandia, though, he's going to try and create something here by himself. He's been somewhat isolated, has Franco Marandia, and he's kind of throwing out his hands, asking where his backup is. And at the moment, they're backtracking to try and stop this counterattack for the Trojans. Bit of a sloppy pass there for Oteng Frimpong, who's been pretty good this first half. That time, though, he could have picked out Gonzalez, and he would have been in acres of space, the number 7 on the far right-hand side. Good clearance there by the keeper, Marko Ilic. Offside there is, I believe it was Joseph Zarichta. Offside. And the Trojans will get the ball back. It was a little spell there from Rouges, who showed signs of life. Franco Marandia looks to be the most active at the moment. He's definitely trying to get involved in everything close to the ball. Of course, we have 2 more games coming up later this afternoon. Michael McCall will be your broadcaster for that one from away from the Numbers Canada, the host club. College, Langara will be taking on Humber. And Seneca will be taking on Vancouver Island University, the other BC team involved in this tournament. So BC team and Ontario team, another BC team. Rouges, right-footed shot, takes a deflection. Looked like it came off the face of the defender, and then it's just looped right back up into the Langley sky. Good, robust play there. It looked like it's a foul against Rouges, a stray elbow. Caught the midfielder. Furat Zalema, I believe it was. Right in the chops. Beg your pardon, it was Randy Gabori who took one right in the mush. Either way, free kick the way of Rouges. Head tennis in the middle of the park. It's been a seesaw affair so far in this one. Rouges probably second best if you look at the complete time in possession and use of the ball and intent. But they look like they're still in it. They look like they're still in it. Good diagonal ball from Rothney. Finds Oteng Frimpong. Aria. Over to assist. Just couldn't settle it down. He was swarmed by red shirts. Ooh, and there's another hand to the face from Aria. Again on Gabori. And it looks like Gabori's not going to put up with much more of that, so the referee will have to really keep his eye on that battle. Good win there by Gabori for Zalama. Another swoop ball over the top, which does seem to be the plan of attack for Rouges. 1-2 interchange on the deck, followed by a clipped little ball over the top for Franco Marandia. Good headed win there by number 14, Troy Morrison. Almost at the half-hour mark here at Willoughby Park in Langley, BC. Host venue for the 2022 CCAA Men's National Soccer Championships. Already 1 game in the books from earlier today on match day 2. Game 1, the Holland Hurricanes, despite a fine effort, falling to Denomas de Montmorency, 5-1. Good play there from SAIT. Trojans have kind of just set up shop right outside the 18-yard box where you feel it's where they're most comfortable, just playing on the deck between the lines. And it's when they're not being pressed, like at the moment, that they're the most dangerous. You feel if Les Rouges can find a way to really make them uncomfortable, really limit their time on the ball, and force them into potentially some issues or some misplaced passes, that might be the way home for Les Rouges. But at the moment, they just seem a little bit out of legs, and the Trojans are kind of just playing around them. Oteng Frimpong takes it down on the thigh. Great play there from Frimpong. Gets outside of his man. Fellow 11 tries to get inside the area now. I'm not sure what the call was. It's a free kick right on the edge of the area. I thought perhaps it was an offside flag on the far side. But Oteng Frimpong, who did take a couple whacks there, skipped away from the challenges a couple times, awarded with a free kick right on the edge of the area. He might have wanted to keep going. He had the ball in the box and was making his way to the goal line with options in tow. Nonetheless, it'll be Aria to stand over this free kick. He has Chitani waiting short. It's a three-man wall, and almost every white shirt outside of Jacob Hunter presenting as an option. Aria, right-footed shot, takes a deflection, goes back into the area, takes another deflection, somehow finds its way out the far side of the penalty box. Clip back in now. Oteng Frimpong leaves it off! It's a goal, but it is offside. It was a well-worked goal, too, as well as Oteng Frimpong had put it on a platter for Brock Mitchell, who side-footed it past Daniel Logren. The flag does go up, though. It spares Les Rouges, and perhaps that was just the shock to the system, the upsetting of the apple cart that they needed to maybe spur them back to life. Much like in the first 10 minutes, they're playing a bit of rope-a-dope now to the Trojans. Ball over the top again, this time for Brock Mitchell, who's drifted into a right wing position. He has options, cuts it back! Oh, it flies past Oteng Frimpong. He tried to put a touch to it, and the defender did just enough to put off Oteng Frimpong because it looked like that was going to be a free tap. And great tackle there, and it'll be a goal kick, fairly won. Aria will put up the protest, but from the broadcast vantage point, Randy Gabore wins that edition of that battle. Clever play there from the, I wanted to call him diminutive number 3, but he's only really diminutive when you compare him to Aria, who's a bit of a skyscraper. Good play from both lads. It'll be a goal kick. Floated ball up the right touchline, one down cleanly by Stanley Sinaga. It gets past two Les Rouges defenders, and Brock Mitchell almost made something out of it there. Great play by Oteng Frimpong, who, for my money, probably alongside Gonzalez, the two best players on the park so far, at least for the Trojans. You've had Chitani chipping in, Aria's in the mix as well. Almost a bicycle kick goal from Sine Hyla to start this one, so they've certainly had talent on display here so far, have the Trojans. Chitani evades 1-2 tackles. Gets it to Oteng Frimpong. Clever through ball. Sinaga takes it in his stride on his right foot. Played a halfway ball to Oteng Frimpong, but Frimpong did very well to keep it alive and march the ball towards the goal line. Les Rouges having trouble playing their way out of the back at the moment. Hyla. And they're not just playing crisp, silky football on the deck, are the Trojans. They're fine with rolling up their sleeves and trying to win the ball back. They are hemming Les Rouges in at the moment and suffocating them. And the men in red are having a real tough time of trying to get some pressure relief. Again, the Trojans snap in to win the ball. Eamon Susi finally takes the responsibility of trying to dribble his side out of the half. He does well, but is now forced to drop. Switch of play for Gonzalez. Had a first-time left-footed shot. It'll be a goal kick. He knows he probably could have done better. It still was a tough ask. It was a ball hit with some pace, and he would have had to take in the instep of his left foot, which he has been cutting back onto. And he gave it a go, but it kind of just clipped off his laces. The defender did enough to shield the passage of the ball and kind of give him a bit of a visual obstacle, if you will. It amounts to a goal kick for Daniel Logren. Right-footed clearance to the chest of Bezahu, who's starting to show signs of frustration, is Bezahu. Chitani playing very deep now, almost in a deep lying playmakers variety of role. Just hovering in front of that back line, connecting passes, stringing things together, hitting the long ball too if he needs to. Oteng Frimpong gets inside his man, cuts it back, and it'll be a goal for the Trojans. They extend their lead. Oteng Frimpong, who has been running the show down this left touchline, causes real trouble for Les Rouges defenders, cuts it back, and it's a simple tap in. The Trojans take a deserving 2-goal lead. And Les Rouges look a bit shell-shocked at the moment. They're trying to find some rhythm and some answers, but the press and the precision passing and endeavor of the Trojans just putting them to the sword, and that will force Saint-Boniface coach Saif Dahawi to make a substitution here. It'll be Alou Ba to come on for Les Rouges. Eamon Susi will be the player to come off. Alou Ba now onto the park. We'll see if he can turn around the fortunes of Les Rouges, who outside of the one goal, the one chance they have very little to show from this first half. The Trojans have been very good with their movement of the ball. It was the number 9, Brock Mitchell, who got the goal there for the Trojans. He's going to get to the goal line now. It just gets out of his reach as he was looking to put back in a cross in the area again. And that's been their bread and butter, the Trojans. That run right to the goal line and then the ball scooped back into the area for the late trailing runs. Les Rouges had it sussed out to start the game, but as the game has gone on, Oteng Frimpong and Gonzalez and Brock Mitchell now are bearing a lot of fruit with that movement. If you're just joining us, the score 3-1. Goals for the SAIT Trojans. An own goal, Gonzalez. And then the most recent goal, Mitchell. The score was opened by Montasar of Les Rouges, but they were quickly pegged back. And now the Trojans have somewhat of a commanding lead here as far as the run of play. Game 2, match day 2 here at the 2022 CCAA Men's National Soccer Championships at Willoughby Park in Langley, BC. 4 degrees Celsius, very cloudy and very cold, the slightest little bit of wind. But of course it was an improvement from the earlier game today, which was a wee bit chilly, minus, or not minus 2, I should say 2, but it felt like minus 2 with the concrete bleachers here at Willoughby Park. Hyla trying to slalom through the Les Rouges defense. Frank Umar Ndia wins it back, and this could be a rare foray forward for Les Rouges. They're just swarmed, though, as the back three with Chitani the back four with Chitani kind of hovering right in front of them, as well as Kopoanomo and Hyla are really stifling any forward movement for Les Rouges. Gonzalez, meanwhile, has had a field day up the right-hand side. He has had acres of space, and him alongside Oteng Frimpong, you feel anytime they get the ball and put their heads down to run at the Les Rouges defense, can really open up and part the back line of the men in red. Morrison. Nico Gonzalez on the far right-hand side wins it for his club. Just about 5 minutes to go to halftime. You feel if Les Rouges are going to try and claw their way back into this one, they might need to get a marker just before the halftime locker room, not just for the sake of the score sheet, but to boost the spirits, to boost the morale. 2 goals down going into the half is a bit of a stern ask, even for Les Rouges. Oteng Frimpong. Chitani. And of course, there has been a goal disallowed for the Trojans. Brock Mitchell did have his first goal, which would have made his most recent goal his second. A great chest down play from Oteng Frimpong inside the area, tight quarters. Side-footed into the net. The flag did go up from the linesman. Some debate on whether or not the call was the correct one. But nonetheless, it looks like the Trojans are in cruise control, and that potential controversy won't come back to bite them. Oteng Frimpong in the area now. Looked like he dragged back his man. He did. I believe he brought back number 6, Aluba, the substitute, and it'll be a free kick inside their own penalty box for Les Rouges. Header right back over the top for Brock Mitchell if he can get there. Good keeping by Daniel Logren. Came flying off his line. Otherwise, Brock Mitchell might have had a very clear look at a second goal here right from the penalty dot. And Les Rouges just, at the moment, struggling to get to some of these first balls. And when they do get possession, it's the swarming press of the Trojans that just snuffs it out. Doesn't really give them much time to operate. If the Trojans can manage to play like this the rest of the tournament, they are definitely going to be a handful for any squad they come up against. And you have to argue that despite perhaps the result yesterday, 3-1 against Langara, which perhaps wasn't overly fair on them, they could be a real team to deal with for whoever encounters them, not only here in these opening stages, but as well as the medal round as well. Gabori gets a handful of Aria. Probably lucky not to get a yellow card there. It'll be a free kick from probably about 30 yards out in the left channel here for Chitani to take. And you feel a goal here to make it 4-1 would certainly put it out of reach. Wilder things have happened, but just the way things are going right now, the Trojans look like they're well in control. Chitani swerves it to the back post. It was a little shallow. It's headed clear by Les Rouges, but Chitani paces halfway across the width of the park to win it back for Gonzalez. Hyla for Brock Mitchell. Clever play into the area. Almost an own goal, but just enough of a touch from Zurikta there to guide it back to Daniel Logren. Clever play again from the Trojans. They know the way home. That play to the goal line, and the cutback pass has paid dividends for them. Daniel Logren clears it up the park. And here come Les Rouges now on the counterattack. Bezahu just gets bodied off his man, Bezahu. It's unfortunate, too. Had he managed to just get inside of Stanley Sinaga, who did well to use his body position. He had numbers, did Bezahu. 2 red shirts flying in at the back post. And that is the last play of the half as it stands, deservedly so. South Alberta Institute of Technology Trojans in the lead, 3-1. An own goal, a Gonzalez shot from just inside the penalty box. And then a Mitchell tap in after Montasar had opened the scoring for Les Rouges. Match day 2, game 2, now at halftime. We'll come back with the second half in just over 15 minutes time. You're listening and watching the 2022 CCAA Men's National Soccer Championships live from Willoughby Park in Langley, British Columbia. Welcome back to Willoughby Park here at Langley, BC, host venue of the 2022 CCAA Men's National Soccer Championships, Match Day 2, Game 2, as we now enter the second half of the South Alberta Institute of Technology Trojans, taking on Les Rouges de Saint-Boniface. The score, the Trojans 3, Les Rouges 1. The Trojans now will play from left to right. On your stream, they're wearing the white tops, red shorts, white socks. Les Rouges, meanwhile, stripped out in all red with a little bit of white and blue trim as well. They'll play from right to left on your stream here at Willoughby Park in Langley, BC. Only one substitution at the half. That was for Les Rouges. Number 21, Joseph Zarikta coming off. Entering the fray, number 4, Abdul Niangadu. Once again, the starting 11s. For Les Rouges, Daniel Logren in net, Graham Normand, Randy Gabori, Michael Zarikta, Furat Zalama, Ibrahim Bezahu, Ayman Suzi, Frank Umarndia, Joseph Zarikta, just coming off for Abdul Niangadu, Tremek Montesor, the lone goal scorer for Les Rouges, and Troy Morrison. We'll get the SAIT 11 in just a second, but it looks like they're going right back to work in the offensive end. Clip ball into the top of the area. Oteng Frimpong there to attempt to collect it anyways. Starting 11 for the Trojans in white: Marco Illich in net, Jacob Hunter, Stanley Sinaga, Kyle Rothney, Nicholas Gonzalez, one of the goal scorers, Solomon Aria, Brock Mitchell, the other goal scorer, an own goal in the mix as well, Tyson Chitani, Quasi Nicholas Oteng Frimpong, probably the best player on the park so far, Jolly Kopo Anomo, and Sine Hyla for the Trojans, who just nodded it back into play. It'll be a throw-in the way of the Trojans. One earlier game here today on Match Day 2 at the 2022 CCAA Men's National Soccer Championships. That was the Holland Hurricanes. They fall to 0-2 on the tournament. They dropped a 5-1 result to the Nomad de Montmorency, who themselves improved to 1-1 after an opening day loss. 5-1, as mentioned, the result there. Free kick the way of the Trojans just outside the 18-yard box in the left channel here. You feel one more goal for the Alberta-based club would put this one out of reach. Les Rouges haven't had a ton of sniffs so far in the matchup. The one they have had did amount to a goal, but they'll need to conjure up more than that if they're going to get past a very stingy Trojans defense. Gonzalez and Chitani standing over this one. We know Gonzalez has a heck of a left foot, but Chitani has been taking most of the set-piece service for the Trojans. He'll take one there. It was well placed. It just needed a bit more zip and a bit more duck and dive on it. It just kind of carries over the crossbar by about a half a meter. No real trouble for Daniel Logren in the Les Rouges net. It remains 3-1. The temperature did improve from 2 Celsius to 4 Celsius in this match day number 2, but it's dropped down just a little bit, and a little bit of a gust of wind has picked up here, so the mittens and the Under Armour on most of the players here definitely necessary. Here comes Zarikta. Great play on the deck for Umar Ndia. Cuts back to his right foot. Umar Ndia has a shot. Looked like he slipped. Maybe didn't get all the weight on the shot that he wanted. A bit of an optimistic rip, too, from probably about 25 yards out. But Umar Ndia, outside of helping on the header for that first goal in the first half, hasn't had a lot to write home about. Ball into the area looking for Gonzalez. It was a swerve ball in, too, again from Oteng Frimpong. But the number 7 for the Trojans just couldn't catch up to it in the right channel. Another good headed win there by Oteng, I beg your pardon, from Umar Ndia for Les Rouges. Brock Mitchell plays it in for Hyla. Back for Mitchell. Mitchell tries to bend in a ball for Oteng Frimpong to chase, but it just hung in the air for far too long, and the center defense of Les Rouges were able to easily deal with it. Two more games on the docket for today. Match day 2 at the Men's National Soccer Championships. Seneca take on Van Isle. Langara take on Humber. Those two games coming up at 2:30 Pacific. Good shot there, almost a goal. What a rip. Caught Marko Ilic off his line. It didn't look like Ilic put a touch to it. It will be a goal kick, but it looked like it might just dip under the crossbar there as Ilic was caught off his line. I want to say it was the goal scorer, Montasar, who tried his luck from distance there. May have been Randy Gabori as well. Either way, good effort from Les Rouges, who, just when you might try and write them off, they pop up with a wee little half chance like that that really keeps you wondering and keeps you watching this one to see what the result might be. Trojans now. They've ticked up the press, I will say that, Les Rouges. They have a bit more energy. They have a little bit more of a spark under their heels here as they are really forcing the issue here. They're not allowing the Trojans as much time on the ball as they did in the first half. You can see it right there, the battle of Gonzalez and Morrison just down below us. Tooth and nail there, not giving up an inch. They're all over each other, so it's going to be some tight space, some tight quarters, and some tight battles to view here in the second half between the Trojans and Les Rouges. Long floated cross from Logren, lets it skip out of his clutches. Didn't look like it went out. Unfortunately for Daniel Logren, it's kind of been the story of his game. A few untimely spills and rebounds have unfortunately cost Les Rouges here. Knock on wood if you're a Trojans fan. Good play there by Franco Marandia, who's been the most industrious of the Les Rouges players, especially along the front line, the number 12. Zerikta on the deck for Gabori. Great turn there by Gabori. Threads it out to the right for Bezahu. Unfortunate for Bezahu, who looked like he was going to clear the defenders. He's won it back, though. Credit to Bezahu. It looks like he's clipped from behind. It will be a free kick. Good play there from Bezahu, who looked like he was outman, outnumbered, and outmuscled, but stuck with the battle. Wins a free kick in a dangerous spot as well. Right on the junction of the lines of the penalty box. Probably about 20, 25 yards out in the right channel. It'll be a left-footed bit of service. It looks like it's Zerikta, perhaps, who is going to launch this one in. Very central at the keeper! Oh, my goodness, it looked like it might just nestle into the far right portion of the net. Again, Marko Ilic, way off his line, caught scrambling backwards. But again, the gravity here in Langley just holds up long enough to carry it past the post and spare the blushes of the keeper. You can see it's something Les Rouges are trying. Whether or not it's by design, I'm not sure. Perhaps that might have been a mishit shot come cross, but either way, it certainly troubled the Trojans' keeper. And if the coach for Les Rouges, Saif Diawy, has sussed that out, that might be something they might want to try moving forward should they find themselves in that opportunity again. Good play from Les Rouges. Gabori. Will this be a shot? No, it'll spread across to Bezahu. Bezahu in the area now, leaves his man for dead. Bezahu, right-footed shot! Right at the keeper, palmed right back into the area, though. Good play from Bezahu in the last 2 or 3 minutes. He's really come to life here. He was isolated in that first half, but the tall number 10 for Les Rouges turning on the afterburners here up that right channel. Marandia in the area. Looks like he was brought down. Bezahu's going to have a chance to launch it across. He wraps his foot around it, but he isn't able to get enough loft on it. It smacks up against the shins of the defender, and this might be a counterattack for the Trojans. It's Mitchell. Gets to the outside of his man. Mitchell cuts back to his right foot. Has options. Lays it to the top for Hyla. Hyla. Oh, his touch lets him down. He had Gonzalez to his right as well. Perhaps a quick dummy or a layoff might have been in order. Hyla will certainly want that one back. A player of his caliber. Bezahu flirting on the last line of defense. He gets the ball. But unfortunately, it was just telegraphed there by Sinaga. Bezahu was hollering for the ball. And by the time the midfielder had sussed out the option, Sinaga saw the game plan and was able to drop just in time. Good play here from Les Rouges in the second half, though. They certainly upped the tempo from their first half performance. The Trojans aren't on their best behavior here. Good play there from Zarikta, who shrugs off Aria into the path of Bezahu. Left-footed shot comes off the keeper's midsection. Illich, but he's able to come out and clutch his own rebound. Bezahu, excellent play here. And good build-up as well. I believe it was Zarikta who was losing the size battle with Aria, but it ain't the size of the dog in the fight. He gets past his man and creates a real chance for Les Rouges. If they keep going like this, they're going to certainly cause the Trojans some problems. Gonzalez right by the goal line, puts on the brakes, wants to take on Morrison, gets through Morrison. Great play there by Gonzalez, left-footed. Is he going to have a shot? He goes near post, off the post, is it? No, it did get a touch from the keeper, Logren. Good play there from Gonzalez, who had very little space to work with, but managed to slither past Morrison. It'll be a corner kick, and just what the Trojans ordered as well, as they were getting beat up in their own end, and this gives them a little bit of a pressure relief, I should say. Hyla, left-footed, tries to swerve and across. It ends up being a switch to Aria. Aria, right-footed, thought about smacking one in, cuts back to his left, now to his right. Hyla again. Still Hyla, left-footed shot, tries to place it. Once again, it's been a bit of the story of Hyla's evening, finding himself in good spaces. Looks like he's ready to get in the shot, but the execution is just what falls short. Still 3-1 here, as we're approaching the 2/3 checkpoint of the match here. The second game of match day 2 at the CCAA Men's National Championships in 2022. Live from Willoughby Park in Langley. 2 more matches coming up later today as well. The Trojans have settled right back into their rhythm. It's unfortunate for Les Rouges. Great ball over the top. Oteng Frimpong. The flag goes up. I might have to have another look at that one. It looked like Oteng Frimpong had kept himself onside. But Les Rouges will welcome the raising of that flag, as they were enjoying their best spell of the matchup before the Trojans kind of put their stamp back on things. Sinaga, helped on by Mitchell. Aria. Back for Hunter. Hunter will clip in across to Oteng Frimpong. This time keeps himself onside, does Oteng Frimpong. Tried to play to the top of the area again for Aria. Was a few too many bodies in between that one. It doesn't get through. But Gabori and Umar and Dia weren't able to chase it down. Gonzalez through ball for Hyla. Good tackle there from Les Rouges defender. He's got options. Montasar. Umar and Dia goes up for the header, loses the battle with Kyle Rothney. Ooh, Hyla almost gets clipped there by Montasar, but just canters over the tackle at the last second. Aria's touch gets away from him. Sinaga will help him out. Neither squad able to connect with some, 2 with a meaningful string of passes in the last few spells of play. The Trojans will just play it all the way back and go right back to the drawing board. Montasar fouls his man, Tyson Chitani. It'll be a free kick the way of the Trojans, right inside the half. Montasar will get a yellow card for that. Looked like a pretty innocent coming together. Not sure a yellow card was absolutely necessary, but perhaps there were some words or the referee had been keeping a tally. Not sure that Montasar had been overly robust in any previous challenges, but nonetheless, he'll have to be on his best behavior moving forward here in the second half. He is in the referee's book. Chitani showing no ill effects from that previous challenge. Launches a diagonal aerial ball to the far left corner. Oteng Frimpong troubles the defender and wins a throw-in. Another long diagonal, this time to the right-hand side for Gonzalez to control. He's going to get around Morrison. He does it again, a little bit of keepy-uppy, almost some highlight reel service there. Great play from Gonzalez, who might be taking over, from Oteng Frimpong as the most creative / dynamic player on the park here in the second half. Anyways, Oteng Frimpong, great play for Aria inside the penalty box. Can he cut it across? He does for Mitchell. He can't get a foot to it. Mitchell does eventually get the second piece, but it's Logren who closes the wickets. He shuts the saloon doors. Great save there from Logren. Don't know how much he knew about it, but it was a great reflex reaction save from Les Rouges keeper to keep his squad only down by 2 goals and still fighting. Good win there by Les Rouges. This looks promising. Montasar. Offside, says the official. Might have been kept on by the far defender, Rothney, but near side, he was certainly offside. The flag goes up, and the Trojans will get the ball back. We're going to see a substitution here for Les Rouges. Looks like Troy Morrison will leave this one. He was getting run ragged on this near side by Gonzalez. It'll be number 4 coming on for Les Rouges. I beg your pardon, number 5 coming on for Les Rouges, Taj Moril. Gonzalez now in the penalty box. Great ball to the back post from Jacob Hunter. Aria now is going to have a chance to smash one in. Cuts to his left foot. Oteng Frimpong to the goal line now. Tries to cut it across. Great defending there again by Montasar. It'll be a corner kick from the far left-hand side. Looks like we're going to see another yellow card. I'm not sure what for. It's going to be the forward, Umar Ndia. Beg your pardon, Abdul Nyangadu taking that one, the number 4. Les Rouges are going to make another substitution. The Trojans also queued up for a double sub themselves, possibly after this corner kick. It'll be number 24 coming on for Les Rouges, Irvin Bakhtiari. The double sub for the Trojans coming out, number 6, Connor Stabler, and number 16, Malcolm Rector. Rothney. He'll go for a dribble now. The referee's whistle will get the substitutions ready. It'll be Tyson Chitani, who did take a bit of a knock a couple minutes ago on the Montasar challenge. He'll come off for Connor Stabler. And it'll be Solomon Aria who will come off for Malcolm Rector. Les Rouges will now make their substitution. It'll be Michael Zarikta to come off for Irvin Bakhtiari. Those 3 subs have now been made. About 25 minutes plus change to go here in game number 2, match day 2. Both of these squads looking for their first victory. Of course, the Trojans fell 3-1 to Langara, while Les Rouges were beaten up on the score sheet 7-2 by Humber. A bit of a deceiving scoreline. It was 2-2 at the half before Humber kind of went to work in that second half. A couple more matchups coming up later today. Humber taking on Langara, Vancouver Island taking on Seneca. All of those squads victorious in yesterday's affairs. Michael McCall will have those broadcasts for you. 2:30 Pacific and 5 o'clock Pacific, if I'm not mistaken. But of course, you can always check out the CCAA website, which has all the brackets, all the schedules, all the stats as well. And there's been plenty of goals and some real screamers. We've had free kick goals, almost had a bicycle kick goal today. We had a 30-yard belter from Kamara in the Nomads game. A few excellent counterattack chip goals as well. Ball over the top, looking for Hyla, beg your pardon, it's Oteng Frimpong. He's cut out. Gabori. Not able to reel in that pass from Nyangadu. Ooh, and it looks like a bit of a sore one there for Montasar as he got crunched. I believe it's Jacob Hunter who gave him a bit of a stamp. Actually, I beg your pardon, it might actually be Rothney. Will be a free kick, probably about 25 yards out. The substitute will take it. It's a decent bit of service. Gets into the area. Looked like it hit a hand. And Les Rouges will score! It's Montasar again who pops it in. It looked like it would have been a handball anyways. There were some protests, but Les Rouges, Johnny on the spot. Montasar pokes it in on the right foot. And we have a game on our hands. It's 3-2. Can the Trojans hold on that substitution, or perhaps the double substitution for the Trojans, leaving them a bit flat-footed? The Les Rouges all of a sudden have a bit of a fire under their keister. They're ready to play here in this second half. Still plenty of time to go to. The result well within reach for both clubs here. And that perhaps is what Les Rouges need to do. Perhaps the build-up play from the back is more suited to the Trojans, who, if we're being honest, are a bit tidier on the deck and are a bit tidier passing-wise. But Les Rouges have shown when they roll up their sleeves and aren't afraid to go into those physical duels that they can win. They can get the better of the Trojans. And I think you saw it there on that last goal. They just muscled for position inside the area. And it was Montasar again who was able to pip a goal. We're going to see a yellow card here for the Trojans head coach, who I don't think I'm spoiling anything when I said he's been very vocal throughout the tournament. He's been extremely vocal here in this matchup. And he gets a yellow card there from the referee, who perhaps used a little bit more colorful language than he was used to hearing at this level of football. It will be a yellow card for the Trojans head coach. Les Rouges now. Can they capitalize on perhaps a little bit of Emotion being shown here by the Trojans. That is a dicey tackle from number 3, and how that is not given as a foul, I'm absolutely not sure. It was an ankle-biting tackle nowhere near the ball, and the play is allowed to be waved on. Incredible. It looks like the Trojans are going to try to exploit that call, but my goodness, what a robust challenge. I want to say it was Gabori who hit the deck there. It goes unpunished. The Trojans will carry forward. This game has all of a sudden been injected with a bit of spice and emotion after that goal to bring Les Rouges to within 1. The Trojans coach was carded. Tackles are flying in left, right, and center. And we've got a real tournament-style matchup on our hands here. Montasar for Gabori in great space inside the penalty box now. Gabori, can he cut it across? Right-footed shot! Oh, just wide of the far right post. He didn't have anybody making that backtracking run at that back right post. His closest option was Umar Ndia, and he had kind of gone short to the penalty dot. Great play there by Gabori, and a great outlet pass from Montasar. As it's kind of been a tale of two halves. The Trojans have hung around in this second half, but I'm tipping the cap to Les Rouges for really pressing the issue here. Les Rouges in the ascendancy here. And it's about what works for you. It might not be the silkiest or the most pleasing on the eye brand of football to play, but if Les Rouges can turn this into a bit of a brawl, into a bit of a physical encounter, I like their chances over the Trojans. The Trojans like to play. They want to play football, and if you can stifle that movement and bully them a little bit, I think that's in Les Rouges' best interest. We have a Les Rouges player down now on the park. It looks like it's Bezahu, who got a stamp. Frank Umar Ndia, the forward, making the stamping motion to the referee. It was Stanley Sanaga, the defender, who was the closest. Once again, we don't have the benefit of video replay, which might be a good thing because there's been some PG-13 tackles going in here in the last couple of minutes. And I'm sure there's some friends, family, and parents watching the stream who have their eyes covered for some of these tackles for sure. Bezahu looks to be in some discomfort. He's going to get looked at now. The Trojans coach will take this time to wave over the troops and try and settle them, regroup them, what have you, because as far as play, they've been second best in this second half, as Les Rouges have really put them out of their comfort zone, to be fair. As mentioned, we will have two more matchups coming up today. Seneca Sting taking on Vancouver Island. Humber taking on Langara. Langara, of course, the host college here in Willoughby Park in Langley, BC. And it looks like Bezahu probably will make his way back into the game, but he's just made his paces off the far end of the pitch. He's getting looked at by the physio crew of Les Rouges. He's gone a bit quiet recently, has Bezahu. He had a little period there for about 5 minutes in the middle of the half where he was absolutely buzzing and creating things up that right channel. Just over 15 minutes left to play here. Back underway now. Bezahu looking a little bit battered on the far side, walking with a bit of a limp. He'll make his way back into the middle of the park. Good win there. I believe it was Graham Norman, whose name I haven't called a ton here, for Les Rouges. Taj Morrill presenting an option as well, near right-hand side, left-hand side, beg your pardon. They'll clip it right up the middle of the park. Umar Ndia tried to help it on. There was just no one behind him, though. It was pretty tight into the area, too. It would have taken a clever bit of control to try and reel that one in. But Ndia Foul the way of Les Rouges. Stepping on of the Achilles from behind there was Malcolm Rector, who actually got Irvin Bakhtiari. Morrill waiting for the ball so he can carry forward. He reels it in on the right foot. There's a real press here now about the Trojans. Head coach Connor Brady certainly put a word in their ear during that water break. They had just fallen a little bit quiet. They weren't pressing and they weren't stringing together the silky bit of passing that they were in the first half and the good portion of that beginning of the second half here. And it's become a lot more vocal out there as well. You can hear it on the field mic, the crowd mic. Every player's using their voice right now. It certainly has picked up ever since the 3-2 goal. It had fallen into not a lull, but you feel that the Trojans were perhaps a bit too comfortable with the way things were going, and Les Rouges were not about to go meekly off into the Langley night, were they? Hunter. Hyla, great play. Oteng Frimpong. He's been quiet recently after lighting the first half on fire, let's be honest here. Stabler gets to the goal line, floats in across at the back post. It's dealt with by Morrill, does just enough to help it to the goal line. Gonzalez was waiting there as well. Gonzalez, he's going to take on Morrill. Of course, Gonzalez was getting the better of Troy Morrison up that right touchline, but ever since Raj Morrill has come into the game, it has really, really, really stifled the momentum of Gonzalez as Morrill's being a lot more patient. He's not diving in like Morrison was, and it's really kept Gonzalez quiet. Gabori, ball at his feet. Morrill into middle of the park. He tried to switch it for Bezahu, but he just hit it far too centrally. Gonzalez for Hyla. Good pass from Hyla, finds Hunter. Oh, and that'll definitely be a yellow card. Morrill absolutely wipes him out on the edge of the area. Good bit of sportsmanship. It was a tackle Morrill looked like he knew he had to make to prevent a goal-scoring opportunity. He takes his yellow card, and it'll be a free kick right on the edge of the area. Very close. Could have been a penalty as well. Clever shake and shimmy from Jacob Hunter. Sends him one way and goes to the other. And I just finished praising Morrill before he takes everything in the kitchen sink on Hunter. And we'll see if the Trojans can capitalize here with probably about less than 15 minutes to go in stoppage time. Two-man wall near post. Gonzalez, who has a wand for a left foot, might try and bend this one around or just smash it and hope for some ricocheted pieces. Instead, he floats one into the back post. It was Nyangadu who was first to it. He just shepherds it out. Clever play there from the number 4 center back, who since coming on has been very good, it has to be said. He came on for Eamon Susi, who was having a bit of trouble in the back line. And young Nyangadu has buttoned it up ever since the third goal, I should say, for the Trojans. Here comes Gonzalez now. He's going to take on Morrill. Gonzalez, step over, step rolls, gets the best of Morrill. That's good defending by Morrill. Does he take him down for a penalty? The referee says goal kick. He did throw in the tackle. If I'm being fair here, I don't think there was enough there to give a penalty, but Morrill certainly flirting with disaster. 1, because it's a penalty. 2, because he's already on a yellow card, but he does just enough to put off Gonzalez, and perhaps the referee was showing a bit of mercy there. It certainly was risky business from Morrill, but he gets away with it. And the fourth officials now having words with both sets of benches as everybody is animated up off their seats and very much into this one. I know I've said it a few times, but it bears repeating. The 3-2 goal from Montasar on behalf of Les Rouges sparked this game right back into life, and we're seeing a real playoff atmosphere here. Trojans. Ooh, it looked like a pushover from behind on Gonzalez, who's just getting no love at the moment. Ooh, that's a coming together. That should probably be a foul on Malcolm Rector. Instead, it goes the other way. That was 16 late to the ball on that one. He stamps his player, and the call goes the other way. I can say I feel for Les Rouges in this second half. There have been some robust challenges from both sides, really, but unfortunately that one goes against Les Rouges just as it looked like they were about to make a surge up the field. Ooh, good knockdown there from Oteng Frimpong. Mitchell was trying to chase it, but it's good covering play from the defense of Les Rouges, Graham Normand. Oh, good play there from Umar Ndia. Gabori probably could have let it run. Had that been left to run as a dummy, that probably would have gotten to its intended target of Montasar. Montasar pushes over his man, Rector, and it'll be a free kick for the Trojans. The Trojans just taking their sweet time on this one. They know that time is ticking down on Les Rouges' chances, and perhaps they might get desperate and start sending numbers forward, opening up some space in the back. Hyla going for a dribble now. Good play there by Bakhtiari. Not to foul his man. Keeps the battle alive. It's even better play from Hyla to wriggle out of a tight space and play his man. Stabler. Good win there by Nyangadu, and it might create some space here for Umar Ndia, and that was so close, just inches the other way, and Umar Ndia probably sneaks in behind. Good robust tackle from Nyangadu to open that one up, though. Good defending there from Graham Normand. Oh, excellent play there from Graham Normand. Montasar, probably the best player in the half for Les Rouges. He's playing with a real vim and vigor, and he's got a little bit of quality and skill to go with it, Montasar. Him and Nyangadu have certainly made the difference in this second half. You can also tip the cap to Morrill as well. Despite taking that dicey yellow card moments ago, he's more or less kept that right wing of Gonzalez quiet. Ball into the middle of the park. Umar Ndia, who's been isolated, doesn't win the battle there with Kopoanomo. Great defending there by Morrill, who gets goal side of Gonzalez. Almost was able to seal dribble his way out of trouble, but he elects to just pop it out into touch and play it safe. Trojans have numbers here by the right corner flag. It's Mitchell. Good win there by Montasar. Almost a good win there by Montasar. Now Morrill's going to fight his corner with Gonzalez. It's a good play from Morrill, though. Clever defending, and now Montasar can come away with it. Ooh! It's the forward, Mitchell, showing his defensive prowess as well. It's been a real mixed bag this game. Very evenly matched, Les Rouges and the Trojans here. Good switch of play. Will it find Oteng Frimpong? Oh, it was just hit with a little bit too much sting there from Kyle Rothney. Just under 10 minutes to go here. Stoppage time as well, beckoning. Ooh, and that's got to be a foul on behind from Bezahu, who then gets a clip from behind as well. And you can see him smack the turf in frustration, Bezahu. He's been absolutely beaten from pillar to post in this second half, but he just keeps going, does Bezahu. If you're a Les Rouges fan, you'd love to see him get his just rewards for a good hard shift here in this second half. He was a little bit anonymous in the first half, it has to be said, but he slugged it out with the best of them in this second half. Long floated ball to the top of the area. Oh, that's a foul and a coming together of heads. It's a nasty tackle from, it was Montasar, who was a little bit late to the party, and him and Jacob Hunter come together. It's not malicious, it's just very unfortunate. And the two lads bonked heads, and the two physiotherapy units will come out onto the park almost immediately. Both squads will take a bit of a rest here. It looked like it was going to be a clean ball win from Jacob Hunter, but he kind of just knocked the pieces down into the turf, and Montessar, who was very late to the party, just unfortunately made contact. If you're just joining us, it's been a fast and furious second half here between Les Rouges and the SAIT Trojans. An own goal, a Gonzalez goal, and a Mitchell goal for the Trojans. After a Montessar brace, has the score at 3-2. Both players now, thankfully, back up on their feet and don't look any worse for wear. Montessar and Jacob Hunter. You love to see the good, hard, fast play there, but you don't like to see injuries when they do occur. It looks like Montessar might actually be booked here for the late tackle. The referee is reaching in the pocket for something. It's going to be a red card for Montessar. He was very, very late to the tackle. It has to be said. I don't know if it warrants a red card, certainly a yellow. And Montessar, unfortunately, who has 2 goals to his name, is going to have an early shower as well. And it's unfortunate timing because Les Rouges were looking like they had something more to offer this encounter. Montessar can't believe it. He's incredulous to the decision. And the referee, who has been busy in this second half, both sides have not given up an inch, and it's been played hard, and it's been played fast, and it's been played physical. Will force Les Rouges down to 10 men with less than 10 minutes to go here. Ten men Les Rouges. Can they salvage something here against the Trojans, who may breathe a sigh of relief? Not to say that this one is done and dusted by any stretch of the imagination, but that does give them a little bit of wiggle room. That does give them a little bit more space to play with. But I can't imagine Les Rouges are just going to take this one laying down. They'll definitely have their say before the full-time whistle is heard here. There's going to be a substitution again for the Trojans. Cole Rogers, number 18, set to come on. About 5 minutes to go here, and I can imagine at least 2 or 3 minutes of added time. We've had a few stoppages here for Bezahu's injury. The clash of heads recently, substitutions, Gabori dragged down from behind by Malcolm Rector. And here comes the substitution. It'll be Jacob Hunter, who did just take that head knock. Coach Brady not taking any chances with the condition of one of his defenders. He will come off now into the fray, number 18, Cole Rogers. Morrill, right-footed ball into the mixer. Good play there by Bakhtiari. Morrill, back to Logren, who has time to take a right-footed touch. Gabori and Umar Ndia need to get themselves back into an onside position. Could it be a tap-in? Oh, Gonzalez, he slid in there. It could be 4-2 for the Trojans. Great play again from Oteng Frimpong, but Gonzalez, who's been in the thick of everything positive, offensive for the Trojans, just couldn't get the toe tip to that one and put it over the line. That would have been just enough of a cushion. Gonzalez, though, gets the ball back. Tries to play one into the path of Oteng Frimpong. Logren reads that one. Nervy times here in the final minutes. We're approaching the 90th minute here. We'll see how much time is added on here. It might give Les Rouges just enough to work with. Gabori. Gabori there, drags back his man, Gonzalez. Here's some calls on the field. Give it everything, leave it on the field. Only a couple minutes left here. And both of these squads looking for their first victory of the tournament. Of course, if there were to be an equalizer, it would go straight to penalty kicks. Gonzalez in the area. Gonzalez left-footed. Gonzalez will finish it off for the Trojans. He will put it out of reach for Les Rouges. It's very cruel. It's a great finish from Gonzalez, though. He gets his second of the match after he tiptoes through Les Rouges defense. 4-2 will seal it for the Alberta club. It was going to be an uphill climb after the red card to Montessori, and you wonder if that card wasn't brandished, what these final few minutes would have looked like. You could also question what the encounter may have looked like without an own goal. And a bit of unfortunate goalkeeping from Logren in that first half as well, because without those key moments here, Les Rouges are very much in this game. It's just been those key moments where they've been left wanting. Hyla over the top for Oteng Frimpong, carried out by the left corner flag. Hyla, shot right into the waiting clutches of Logren. Looked like it might cause him a little bit more trouble than it did, but Logren made the save look very easy. 4 minutes of added time, I believe, was shown on the fourth official's LED board. We're into the 91st minute of it now, so time ticking down on Les Rouges to keep this one respectable. Not a bad effort there from Frank-Oumar Ndia. Tried his luck from probably about 25 yards out. It had some pace behind it, and it was hit on a frozen rope. It just didn't duck down under the crossbar of Marko Ilic's net in time. Oh, and that'll be a clip of the heels on Cole Rogers as he was making his paces up the park. Just gets stepped on from behind. Gonzalez now receives a quick free kick in the box. Right-footed shot, come cross. Perhaps trying to catch Logren cheating to the far post. It's an easy clutch and claim for the young Les Rouges keeper. Bezahu. Plays it up the line for Oteng Frimpong. He has the switch of play for Gonzalez. He'll find Gonzalez now. Morrill will make his paces over to cut down the angle. 2 minutes left to go. Rothney by the corner flag. He's just going to try and waste some time. Morrill, though, will force him into a play, and it will be a throw in the way of the men in white. It'll be a corner kick after Malcolm Rector fought his corner. Substitution now as Jolly Kopoanomo will leave the park. Javier Munoz Tejada on now for the Trojans as time is ticking down now on this one. About less than a minute to go here. And Les Rouges, despite a valiant effort, it has to be said, just the key decisions didn't go their way, whether it was red cards or own goals. The soccer gods were not smiling upon them today. You do say over the full 90, though, the Trojans probably deserved winners. Much better on the ball, longer spells of possession, longer spells of meaningful possession with intent. And you just wonder if Les Rouges were able to put up that robust fight, that scrappy play that they did in the second half that pretty much willed them back into this one. What it might have looked like across a full 90, and also you bring the red card into the conversation as well. Luca Masse shine coming into this one as well. Some late substitutions for the Trojans. There will be the full-time whistle. The Trojans get their first victory of the CCAA Men's National Soccer Championships. They double up Les Rouges by a score of 4-2. Goals from an own goal, a Gonzalez brace, and Mitchell with a tap-in. The 2 goals from Les Rouges coming from Trimek Montassar, who also was sent off late in this one. The final score, Les Rouges 2, Trojans 4. 2 more matches still to come today. Match day 2 here at the CCAA Men's National Soccer Championships. Langara taking on Humber, and Vancouver Island taking on the Seneca Sting. The 2 earlier finals, as mentioned, we just had here. 4-2 for the Trojans over Les Rouges. The early game saw the Holland Hurricanes drop to 0-2 as they fell to the Nomads de Montmorency by a score of 5-1. The Nomads, meanwhile, improved to 1-1. 2 matches still to come here on match day 2, and we'll have them for you right here on the stream at Willoughby Park, Langley, BC, your home for the 2022 CCAA Men's National Soccer Championships.